How many people here listen to music? I'm not looking at the choir because I know they don't. Everybody listens to music, right? Everybody has a favorite style of music. How many times have you had a song get stuck in your head? Just over and over and over and over again. Happens to me all the time. I'm a music lover. As much as I joke about certain genres of music, I do listen to almost everything. And on my little iPod here, I carry around close to 2,000 songs. And on my bigger one, my larger capacity one, I usually have close to 5,000 songs. And I usually have them within at least a foot reach of me at all times, because I never know when I'm going to listen to music. I listen to music a lot. Matter of fact, the only time I don't listen to music is when I'm riding my motorcycle, which is unusual because a lot of people who ride actually put earphones in and listen while they're riding. I don't. The wind is my music on that one. But it's not, many days don't go by that there's a piece of music that's stuck in my head. A few years ago, I got up on an Easter morning, and actually the picture that I had showed the kids earlier of a beach in Nova Scotia, I was born very close to it, and I ended up living in ministry there for about 8 or 9 years in that community, and would get down and walk the beach on a regular basis. It was my place to get away when I had to sort things out and think things through. One Easter morning early, I had gone down to the beach just for a walk. And there was a group of people holding a worship service on the beach, and they had started out the day by singing, "Alleluia, Alleluia, give thanks to the risen Christ." And they just about messed up my Easter completely, because the sound of them singing that as I walked the beach sorting out things in my head, actually picking up starfish and sand dollars and the things that I did on the beach, stayed with me the whole day. Well, of course, I had to go do my own worship services an hour or two later, and all I could think of was this song, which was the one I had not picked for that worship service. So it stayed with me all day. And it's one of those moments I remember. I can't tell you what song stuck with me yesterday or the day before. Well, I probably could, but before that, maybe not. That one I did. It coming and back, and I found myself singing it and humming it continuously. And I know there's lots of people like that. There's times when you have a song that just gets in you in such a way that you can't let go of it. It doesn't let go of you. When I feel down, when I'm going through stressful times, when I'm trying to sort things out, it's music that usually helps me express how I feel. I've been known to say to people when I can't explain how I feel about things, "Here, listen to that song. It'll tell you how I feel." And I've been known to say that when you sing a country song backwards, you get your wife back, you get your horse back, you get your friends back, and you get everything else back. Couldn't refuse. Sorry, I had to throw it in there. It was that or a green tractor joke, and I wasn't sure which it was going to be. But have you ever noticed that when you're feeling down, it's difficult to sing happy songs? Have you ever noticed that? And when you're happy, you don't really want to hear downer songs. Isn't that true? We kind of want the music to match the mood. And I'm saying all that to you because we had some really wonderful scripture lessons today. The scripture lessons were actually treats, some of my favorites. That whole story about the disciples on the side of the shore, their life has been destroyed. Everything that they expected to have happened, everything that they wanted to have happen, every plan they had set in motion for this ministry and career they were going to have with Jesus had been shattered. And they had been pushed, they'd gone back to their day jobs. And here they were struggling to fish, and they encountered Christ in the midst of that moment. Here they are down, and they didn't want to recognize Jesus. They didn't want to ask who he was. But they knew. They knew that in the down moment, the upbeat was there. And in Revelation, the 5th chapter passage that was just read speaks about the songs of praises. It's a triumphant song. And that's why it's strange, because it was written by John of Patmos. Do you know who I mean when I say John of Patmos? The author of Revelation? How many people here know about the author of the book of Revelation? The author of the book of Revelation is purported to be written by a man named John of Patmos. John of Patmos is an island in the Greek Aegean Sea, and it's where a man went to live out his life as a recluse, a hermit. And he had this vision, revelation, and wrote it down. But John is also the one that you know in his earlier life as a young man as the one who was called the beloved disciple. The one in this other passage that you read, Ellen, that is the beloved disciple who recognized Jesus, is the one who was the first to the tomb, is the one who stood at the foot of the cross, is the one whose entire life was shattered and afterwards never really got along with the church establishment at all. Ended up moving away from Peter and Paul and all the rest of the group and made his own life in his own way, eventually living on the island of Patmos. A broken man at the end of his days with a triumphant song in a book that we don't see as triumphant. He wrote a book that speaks about finding God and finding Christ at a point when everybody else thought he had lost God and lost Christ. He talks of writing this book from the Isle of Patmos, which according to ancient Roman historian Pliny was actually a pretty rocky, barren place and had actually in times been used as a Roman prison colony, a pretty harsh place to be.